Okay, if I remember right, and I think I'm on the right one, we're on number 8. Okay. Just gonna straighten that out a little bit. Okay. Oops. All right. So the wrong way, I am now going to tell you why people should recycle. Okay, guys, I see this several times every year. When you're in 8th grade, you don't write like you're in kindergarten. And little kids say, I'm going to tell you, right? You do not do that. That's insulting to the reader. You never say, I am now going to tell you, because we know you're going to tell us. That's why you're writing this. So you could just start it with, people should recycle. So write that down, please. People should recycle.
I feel like you're going to be very tough on this grading scale.
Well, I am. This is probably one of your biggest assignments for the year.
How many points is it? 100?
I'd have to look at the rubric. I haven't looked. Okay, wrong way. This is why I think students should use cell phones in the classroom. Please don't start with that. So, how could you change that? Dylan.
Students should be allowed to use cell phones in the classroom.
Bingo. Good job. Anybody else?
That's my thought.
Yes.
Students should be able to use cell phones.
All right, very good. Anybody have anything else? Yes, Sam.
Just like flat out, like students should use cell phones in the classroom.
Okay, very good. All of those are correct. And I put correct way, students should use cell phones in the classroom, but that's just an example. Any of what you said, any of those work. Okay? Next. Wrong way. Animals should not be contained in zoos, and here is why I think so. Well, why did you write the essay? I know you're going to tell me why. So you cannot say animals should not be contained in zoos, and here is why I think so. Please leave that off. So Elise, how could that be changed?
Animals should not be contained in zoos.
Period. Very good. Just cut to the chase. Animals should not be contained in zoos.
Like, you either have to just cut everything out or just add in a ton of stuff.
You know,
Or adding one word.
you don't ever add in a ton of stuff because that's called clutter, and there's nothing worse than pretentious writing, and that by that I mean this kind of with your nose in the air with lots of fancy highfalutin words all over it. There's a book out there that's called Clutter, 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 and it was a book that changed my life, and it changed my writing style. And it tells you, just cut to the chase, say what you mean to say, and your writing is much more effective than if you clutter it up. Okay, so now please take and write down leads/hooks. That's all you have to put. Leads and hooks. Bait your hook and lure them in. Wherever you want to keep your notes.
So,
Leads/hooks.
so if we put any pronouns in there, they'll get angry.
I'm going to come around and, well, you get points off. I'm not going to get angry, but I'll come around and help you, and you'll be doing Control F, and I'll help you get rid of them. Okay?
Oh, so are we going to write a rough draft and type it?
Yes, of course. You always do. Yeah. All writers do rough drafts.
Write it final?
Well, you will after you.
No, wait. Will we type it
Yes.
as our final?
Both. You're going to type your rough draft and your final.
So no writing?
By hand?
Yeah.
You can
I
if
guess you
want.
can if you want to. It's easier, I think,
Do
but,
we write our final draft or do we have to type it out?
okay, what did I just say? We'll be typing it. All right. So, Bryce, what is a lead or a hook in an essay? Just remind us, please.
The first sentence of your essay used to attract the reader's
Okay, used to grab the reader's attention and bring them in.
attention.
So, all you have to do, we just have a few more notes to take. Bullet 1. It's the first part of your intro. This is just kind of a review here.
So are we supposed to
It's
write
the
it down?
first part of your intro. It must grab the reader's attention. And I'm going to show you some different ways to do that. Most are 2 to 4 sentences long. Brayton, are you taking notes? And it must smoothly lead from the attention getter into the rest of your introduction, where you're going to give your claim, your belief statement. Yes.
What would be like an example of it, like not transitioning?
Okay, I'm going to give you some examples, so if you just hang tight, you'll get to see some, okay? Okay, ready? Next, lead, hook, no-nos. These are things that you do not do when you're writing a lead or a hook, okay? And you need to pay attention to this because you kids have been taught to do this over the years, and in an argumentative, you do not want to do this. Here it is. Ready? Do not begin with a question. Yeah, I see a lot of smiles because you've been taught to do that. But I'll explain why here. Just all you have to write down is do not begin with a question. You're opening up with the possibility for the reader, first of all, to say no, and then they may tune you out. For instance, have you ever thought about what it would be like to wear uniforms to school?
No.
And your reader goes, nah, not really. Are they going to keep reading? No, you've already tuned out some people that otherwise you might bring in to your argument. And also, often these questions are boring and they're cliches, which means they're worn out. They've been used over and over again. And it is something your reader has thought of before. Have you ever thought of what it would be like if students could use cell phones in the classroom? Well, yeah, they have thought of it. So you don't want to start with a question. You might lose some of your readers right from the get-go if they answer no. And secondly, it's a boring and repetitive, worn-out way to start. You don't have to write that down. It's okay. All right, so if you find you've used a question, because I know a lot of you are used to starting out with a question, just change it into a declarative sentence. For instance, nope, don't do this. Have you ever been told to put your iPod away in class? Right? So instead, start it like this. Multiple times a day, teachers are asking students to put away the iPods. So I turned it from a question into a declarative statement, a declarative sentence.
But wouldn't you have to back yours up with like statistics?
Of course, all this is a lead. It's the first sentence in your essay. Okay, now there are more than 3 types of leads that you can use in an argumentative writing, but I'm going to narrow it to these 3. And if you find you want to use something else, come talk to me. These are the 3 most popular. I want to stick to these because this is new for you guys. Okay, so here's the first type. So 3 types of leads. Write that on your papers, please. And you're going to choose one of the 3 to start your paper. And I think you'll find that they're probably the most user-friendly ones. Number 1, start with a startling statement, fact, or statistic. That's all you have to write. Start with a startling statement, fact, or statistic that will hook the reader's attention. What do I mean by startling? Yes?
Like something they didn't know about, like if you said
What's a synonym for startling?
flabbergasted.
Surprising, flabbergasting. Okay, one that kind of awes you. It's okay to use exaggeration, but don't be obnoxious about it. Because what happens if your whole paper ends up, Lucas, full of hyperboles? What's the reader going to do? Not believe you.
If you go like
So you have to be careful.
500% of people.
Exactly. So you have to be careful not to use hyperboles, and even if you find them in your research, be careful. Don't overuse them. Okay, example. Here's an example of a startling statement, fact, or statistic. Imagine a line of dead and mangled bodies stretching for 25 miles. 25,000 corpses. That is the number of victims of drunk driving every year. It's hard to believe that the number is increasing in spite of the ads and community awareness efforts. Okay, and here's the claim. The time has come to take more specific measures to get drunk drivers off of the road. Okay, now, not only is that a startling statistic, but it creates imagery. And what do I mean by imagery, Tirza? You can see it. I mean, 25,000 corpses for 25 miles, and you get this picture in your mind. I know. It's overwhelming. Okay? Questions on that one?
That was it. Whoa.
That's a strong one, isn't it? Yeah. Next, please write this down. Start with a direct quote from a recognized authority.
Martin Luther King.
So if you're going to write about highway safety, you don't want to take a quote from the guy that's the manager at Dairy Queen, right? Because you're not going to be very credible.
Like a state highway patrolman.
Exactly, exactly. Okay,
Is that like
and here's an example. Now, notice the quotation marks because I'm using a direct quote. Example, quote, quotation marks. Drinking kills more drivers than any other cause, quotation marks, says Matthew Jensen, head of Wisconsin Highway Safety. Quotation marks. Their dead bodies litter the highways of America every night, quotation marks. Then this is the writer's own words that's bridging it to the claim. Sadly, people often believe nothing can be done to stop this madness. Then the claim, the time has come to take more specific measures to get drunk drivers off of the road.
I'm interested about this one.
Yeah, well, good.
Boom.
Okay, that's a good thing. All right, next one. This is a little bit different direction with a different claim. You can start with an interesting fact. And this one kind of blew me away today, but okay. According to the Center for Disease Control, a typical child needs 2,000 calories for an entire day, and Burger King's Whopper with triple cheese has 1,230 calories. Claim, fast food dining contributes to childhood obesity and needs to be controlled.
You know Albert Einstein contest show was 13.
Okay, that was rather random. Let's keep the random thoughts inside. Okay, now, there's something about this one that I just don't like. What is it missing?
Statistic. Like
Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand.
I don't
Go ahead.
A bridge between
A bridge between the interesting fact and then the claim. What could you put in there to bridge the two together, to make it smoother?
a source.
Casey,
On that note,
go ahead.
on that note, fast food dining.
A little smoother, but I think it needs a whole sentence to bridge it.
Oh,
Yes.
You need to add something about like child obesity because it's just talking about calories and that goes straight into obesity.
Absolutely. That is a wonderful point. So can someone come up with something? Can you think of something off the top of your head that we could use? Dylan.
On that note, millions of children are slowly dying due to childhood obesity.
Okay, now you're making statements that you're not able to back up because you'd have to back that up with statistics. All we want is a bridge here. So how about something like, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, with triple cheese has 1,230 calories. Think of how many calories in a 24-hour period children that eat lots of fast food must consume. And then you could go to fast food dining. Do you see how I bridged the two together? And to be honest with you, that wasn't a very good one. But I'm the kind of writer that I take a long time and I write and I rewrite and I change things. And when I was getting my master's, I actually drove the other teachers crazy that were in there with me, but I have to get it just right. And I play with words just like they're little tiles on a board, and I just keep moving them around. That's what a lot of writers do, and it's okay if you're that kind of writer. It's okay to take your time. All right. Fact and opinion. How to tell the difference. Okay. This is out of order, sorry. Okay, fact or opinion? Most buses weigh more than cars. Anyone?
It's an opinion.
I got this.
Why do you say fact?
Because buses are big,
Okay, and what can you do to prove it?
like pounds.
Yeah, you have numbers to prove it. So that's a fact. Okay, and this, I'm sorry, this got out of order. Facts are statements that can be proven. And here's examples. Here's another one. Statistically, women live longer than men. Why is that a fact? Yes, Brooks.
Women don't do as much stupid stuff as men.
Okay, but why is that? Okay, that's an opinion that you just gave me. Why is it a fact?
There's statistics.
All right. Shh. Dylan, please, you got to be quiet. Cameron, what'd you say?
There's statistics to back it.
There's statistics. There are numbers that back it up, all right? There are 12 inches in a foot. Yes,
You can prove it.
you can prove it. Yes, you can. All right? And this got all messed up. I'm sorry. Opinions are statements that cannot be proven. Opinions can be argued, however, because you're going to be arguing your opinion. But you need to support it with what?
Facts.
Facts. All right, here's an example. Golf is boring.
That's an opinion.
Why is that an opinion? Yes.
Because one, you have no, you're not showing statistics.
Right.
So that you're thinking.
And does everyone think golf is boring?
Some people just love the game.
No, exactly. Pizza's delicious.
Some people might be lactose intolerant.
All right, and I just saw Caden go, ugh, so I don't think he agrees with that. All right, math is the hardest subject.
Sí, señorita.
Okay, so I know you're saying it and smiling, but Brooks, why is that an opinion?
Because there's a lot of people that dislike.
Right, but there's a lot of people that like math, and it's their best subject. Okay, fact or opinion? Okay, just don't call out loud. Think about this. According to sales records, strawberry ice cream is the worst selling of all flavors. Brayton. Okay, why? You're right.
Because they have sales records to prove it.
They have sales records to prove it. Number 2, therefore, we can conclude that strawberry is the least popular major ice cream flavor. Brooks.
Fact.
Okay, why?
They have the sales records.
They have the sales records to prove it. Now look at this next one. This is because strawberry ice cream does not taste as good as vanilla and chocolate. Yes, Casey. Opinion, okay? Because some people might think that it tastes better. And maybe there's some food allergies out there to strawberries. Strawberries kind of one of those fruits that are high on the allergy scale. Dylan.
I'll just leave it next one.
So your hand's just in the air. All right. Practice. Okay, so you're going to take out you can just use a scrap sheet of paper. No, this is for your own use. Okay? And you're going to write down whether each example is fact or opinion, and then you're going to just write a brief explanation of why. Okay, you ready? All right. Number 1. The Family Guy is not and keep it to yourself, please. Don't call out, don't raise your hand, write it down. The Family Guy is not appropriate to watch during school. Fact or opinion? And why? Okay, you keep your hand down. We're answering them all. I said that already. Thank you. I'm really glad you're enthusiastic about it, though. Number 2. There are fewer panda bears in the world than grizzly bears. Fact or opinion? Why? Back it up. Why do you feel like it's fact, or why do you feel like it's an opinion? Drinking orange juice right after brushing your teeth tastes bad. Fact or opinion?